What's up, basketball fans? Welcome to the Raptors Report. It is time to talk about the Toronto Raptors because they have a former player, almost a former player, who is still in free agency. And we've got some big news to talk about. Yes, I'm talking about Gary Trent Jr. So I will be talking about that in today's video. So if you're ready to watch, make sure to hit the subscribe button. And if you wish to hit the like button as well, that'd be very much appreciated. And with that being said, let's get into today's video. So some new reports came out about Gary Trent Jr. There has been a lot of questions as to why Gary Trent Jr. is still a free agency. There are a lot of Raptors fans that figured that, you know what, just with the way the roster is constructed right now and us not having much money to spend, it is likely that the Raptors may move on from Gary Trent Jr. Well, it was being reported by a Raptors reporter yesterday. And yes, I tweeted this out. And I'll explain why I didn't quote him in just a second, but he was stating that the Raptors are believed to be moving on from Trent, according to multiple league sources. Gary Trent Jr. wanted a raise from his $18 million contract. He wanted a raise near $25 million per season for the record, as I stated. Buddy Hield got around $9 million over 3-4 years. It wasn't also, I also didn't tweet this out, but reportedly Gary Trent was offered a contract from the Toronto Raptors a month or so prior to free agency, around $15 million. We don't know the terms of that. We don't know how many years were added to that contract, but reportedly, Gary Trent rejected that contract. Now with free agency and the way that it has gone, it seems like he may not even get the mid-level exception. And if he's signing with a lot of contending teams, he may just have to settle for $6, $7, $8 million. And that is absolutely crazy. Now, for those wondering why I didn't code it, it was someone I would like to code, but he has me blocked on Twitter. So no shade to that man. But Raptors reporter, I can't really give him credit because, well, he's got me blocked on Twitter, you know. But in terms of Gary Trent Jr., we do have to talk about this because this is quite the story. A lot of us fans were wondering, and I even made a video last video. It was supposed to be a parody, no shots at Gary Trent Jr. He's been nothing but a pro for the Toronto Raptors. But for the Raptors to not be able to sign Gary Trent Jr., you kind of have to figure that he does have an agency that represents him in Clutch Sports, which has been notorious for getting their clients paid quite a bit. And we know Rich Paul, we know how he likes to operate. He literally gets his clients paid more than what they deserve. And it seems like in this case, Gary Trent Jr. has kind of maybe made a bit of a gamble here, right? Similar to how Dennis Schroeder has many years ago when he was being offered about a 4-year deal by, I think it was $84 million or so from the Lakers. He rejected it, and then he ended up getting mid-level exceptions for the next couple of seasons from different teams, right? So for Gary Trent Jr., this is a tough situation to be in, but also in terms of, you know, just negotiation, you have to realize that this is a very, very bad free agency for any good role players to be in. If this was last offseason, maybe you have a team like the Pacers throw $22, $25 million at you, right? We saw what players got paid in the last offseason, but due to the new rules in the CBA, it made it very difficult for a lot of teams to pay role players good money. We saw Malik Monk, I believe he got about 4 years, less than $100 million. I think his average was around 18, 19, $20 million. Don't quote me and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments section, but for a player caliber of Malik Monk, who's potentially a sixth man almost every season he plays, he's played well with the Sacramento Kings. He's getting that deal. That should tell you what kind of market it's going to be for role players, right? So it is unfortunate for Gary with the new CBA rules. A lot of teams do not want to spend a lot of money. They don't want to go into the tax apron. They definitely don't want to go into the second tax apron because that is when you start losing your future first-round picks. Now, it was also reported that the Toronto Raptors are expected to meet with Gary Trent Jr. again this week in Las Vegas, but that $15 million contract that was offered is now off the table. So again, if he does come back, the Raptors don't have a ton of money to spend anyways. He's going to have to settle on a really, really cheap deal if he does return to the Raptors, or if he does sign with the contender. It could be a possible solution of maybe getting him more money on a sign and trade deal. Milwaukee Bucks are a team that is to be monitored. There's all sorts of Twitter accounts that have some reputable sources that have stated that Damian Lillard apparently is trying to get Gary to come to, you know, a team like the Milwaukee Bucks. So keep an eye on that. But from a Raptors point of view, I don't know if they have a lot of assets or any assets that really interest the Toronto Raptors. So it is going to be a tricky situation for Gary Trent, but you also have to realize with respect to Gary Trent, you know, just the way you see his skill set, besides three-point shooting, we've seen it time and time again. If he's not hitting those three-point shots, he's not really contributing to the game much at all. He's not a great defensive player. He's listed at 6'5". He plays a lot smaller than his height. He's not someone that's super athletic that's going to storm for massive dunks. He's not a great passer. He can get you some steals, which is nice, but again, he's not great at finishing at the rim. And that is where the difficulty in paying Gary Trent a lot of money comes into, right? So even that $15 million would have been an overpay considering what role players are getting around the NBA this offseason. So Gary Trent, unfortunate for him. Look, nothing against Gary Trent Jr. He's been nothing but a professional with his career with the Toronto Raptors. Even with Nick Nurse, he got benched several times when the Raptors acquired Jakob Poeltl. He's been super respectful, never complained to the media. And even when the Raptors got a new head coach in Darko, he was coming off the bench again, never complained. In fact, he even took their rookie, Grady Dick, under his wing in his first season. And Grady Dick plays pretty much a similar position. And I mean, Gary Trent is a smart man, at least, in that sense that he knows that potentially Grady Dick can replace him one and maybe it's sometime in his, in his NBA career, at least with the Toronto Raptors, and he still took him under his wing. He was a nice guy, super professional, never complained to the media, super respectful. But unfortunately for this one, for Gary Trent, it just seems like he really misread the market. And as fans, we could tell you, no one saw this coming. So yeah, I'm sure a lot of players felt the same way because there's still a good list of free agents that still remain unsigned. We have not seen this happen in previous seasons or even in a long, long time where you see role players, good role players, still on the market. It is what, July 9th, 10th, and they're still on the market, which tells you not a lot of teams want to spend a lot of money. And most NBA teams are actually at a full capacity in terms of roster spots as well. So I feel for Gary, but it seems like his skill sets have really declined over the years. When he first got traded to the Raptors, it seemed like he had a lot of potential. Mind you, he's still only 25 years old, which is the crazy part with his whole situation here, because it seems like you would think Gary's been in the league for so long. He's at least 27, 28, but no, he's still 25 years old. He's going to be what he is, With respect to Gary, I have a lot of respect for him, the way he's handled himself in terms of the media, personnel, everything, just never complaining. But in terms of his skill set, it is what it is. It's not likely to improve or change at this point of his career, but it is going to have to be one of the situations where most likely he's going to have to sign for $5-6 million to a 1 year deal to go to the contender. And you don't know what the situation is going to be for Gary there, right? Or is he potentially going to play 20 minutes a game, 25 minutes, 30 minutes? Is he going to look the same? A new team, it's all new schemes, and you're playing around different guys. So who knows what it looks like? We wish Gary the best of luck. And obviously, the Raptors also drafted Jacoby Walter as well. Pretty much a Grady, or not a Grady, but Gary Trent, excuse me, replacement. But for now, I think the solution for the Raptors obviously is to insert someone like a Grady Dick into the starting lineup. Pretty much have the same skill sets and more. If you ask me personally, I'm a big Grady Dick guy. I think he's got a lot of potential. So unfortunate situation for Gary Trent here. Declined a $15 million deal. And even last off seasons, there were rumors about him potentially signing a 19-20 million per year, even a little bit more for the Raptors on a 4-year contract. We never heard about it afterwards because there's a lot of rumors surrounding Pascal Siakam trade rumors at that time. But look, it is what it is. We'll see what happens with Gary Trent. But I'm very curious to hear your thoughts. Also, guys, if you haven't checked my video out, last video, I meant that no disrespect to Gary, but it's just a little funny video I made about how the negotiations went between Masai Ujiri and Gary Trent. And it seems like it pretty much did go like that. So a very interesting situation with Gary Trent, but I'm very curious to hear what your thoughts are. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and that will be it for today's video. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have yourselves a great day.